Seems like every time that I do a show at a senior community, I am learning something else. I created another list of mistakes that I've made over this time and recently I've made, and I want to help you avoid these mistakes. In this video, we're going to talk about some of the things that will help you at your first gig or your 100th gig or wherever you're at in your musical journey. I want you to please try to not make the same mistakes that I tend to do. Number one on this next list of mistakes to avoid while playing at your senior community gig is don't sit next to the fireplace or the heater. Sometimes like in the winter, like it was really cold last week here. It was like -10 degrees. And in the morning I was driving to one of my shows in New Hampshire and it was really cold. But when you get to a senior community, I want you to try not to sit next to a fireplace because it can get really hot really quick. It may seem like, oh, this is a cozy spot to play. Or if they put you in front of like the radiator or in front of a heater, or if you can like feel, if you sit down where you're supposed to play, if you can feel any of the vents like throwing hot air onto you. If this is avoidable, choose a different spot. Because at first it may seem really cozy, but that room starts to fill up and it starts to get warm really quick. I was at a show and I was just to the right, this is actually the left, my right, your left, and I was just to the right of a fireplace that was on just a little bit. And at first I'm thinking, man, this isn't going to be a problem. But after the first 3 songs, it quickly became a problem. And if you have your whole set, your amplifier and your microphone and everything is set up and you're there, you can't, it'll take a while to move everything. So try to pick a different spot if the activity director gives you an option. If it's unavoidable, then I mean prepare for it by bringing a towel if you tend to sweat, or a sweat rag, or maybe shed a layer if that's possible. Because I found when I do my shows, I get warm really quick, and maybe you're the same way. So watch out for that. Mistake number 2: don't forget that the staff is part of your audience. A lot of times I go to a show and I want to play for the seniors that are there and that are living there, but sometimes the staff who is caring for the residents is sitting right next to the resident, or the activity director is there, or somebody is visiting from another hospice community and caring for a certain resident. Like, play for them too. Play a song or two that may be a little bit earlier. Like, play a John Denver song or a James Taylor song or even a Neil Young song. I got away with playing Layla at one of my gigs too, and one of Eric Clapton's unplugged version of Layla, and it was so cool. It went over really well. And I just acknowledge the staff that's there, and one of the communities that I visit too, she comes in and she gives me some Reese's peanut butter cups, and she sits them next to the amplifier, and she's just like, just play my song. She's just like, it makes me feel so good. And her song is Harvest Moon, Neil Young, and I'll play that song. And so play for the residents that are there, but also kind of pay attention to the staff that's working there. Some of them are a lot younger and really want to hear a couple of the songs too for them. So that might be a good idea to throw into your set once in a while. Mistake number 3 is one that I did recently, and I should know this playing so many times, is don't restring your guitar the day of the show. That should seem pretty obvious. My guitar needed some new strings. I had forgotten to do it, and it came to be show day, and I'm like, oh, I'll do it really early in the morning. And the strings stretch for a while, for several hours, and I'm constantly like retuning it, and sometimes like the volume feels a little bit different with the strings and the resonation, and they're kind of squeaky, and like brand new strings, you can kind of tell when you're playing. I would give your guitar at least a day, if not a couple of days, to get used to those sets of new strings before you go into your next gig, because I found that there are some songs that I play, especially some John Denver ones, that I'll be strumming and you're just like really paying attention to, like one of the strings is stretching a little bit more than the others, and just give your guitar like some time, like so the strings stretch, so that you're used to the resonation of the strings, so you can make an adjustment on your amplifier if you need to be with the highs and the lows and not make that sound quite as sharp. I notice every time when my guitar has, new strings, your audience will notice if it's a little bit too sharp than you're used to, so make those adjustments ahead of time. I was doing a show recently and the snow was falling and people were outside making snow angels. The residents had grandchildren out there and they were playing in the snow and building snowmen, and then, the children were running around, and I had made mention of, oh, it's so nice to see the kids playing outside, and I think that leads in well to this next song or something like that. And I was looking out the window when I said it, and then all the residents looked out the window. And then there's some residents that are in the wheelchairs that can't look out the window. They can't really turn to see. So the staff, she's like, I want to see. So the staff turned her wheelchair so she could see the kids that were playing outside. I could see them pretty well, but they were a little bit further away. And what that does, even when people are walking past the room that you're playing in, if you give that person energy that's out of your room, or if you give these kids energy that's out of the room, you are drawing tension away from yourself, who's the show, and you're playing music for them, and you get everybody to look outside and try to look at them and try to find them, and then residents talk to each other what's he talking about? What are we looking for? Why are we looking outside? And then if I'm looking at the guy who's walking past carrying boxes into the next room, and even if I just look at him, I'm giving energy to this person, and then the audience looks the way that you're looking. So don't try to, don't invest your energy into an entity that is outside the show. It's one thing to comment on the pretty snow that's falling, but it's a completely different thing to make mention to oh, there's a cardinal and a bluebird at the same time in this bird feeder, and draw the attention of your audience away from you and at that bird feeder. You want to appreciate them. You want to keep everybody present and with you during the show. So keep that focus on you and the music and them, and just have this back and forth, not look over there, look over there. I find it's a little bit more challenging to get your audience right back into the show with you once you've distracted them with something that goes on. Sometimes it's unavoidable, but I found that I want to pass that on to you because it's something that's been a challenge for me recently. All right, number 5. This is one that another one that should feel obvious, but sometimes I'm doing shows 2 or 3 in one day, and I'll eat lunch in between the shows. And I want you to not make this mistake that I made recently, which was eating a bag of barbecue potato chips before one of my shows, because it gave me some acid reflux, and I had a ginger ale. I was doing it really, really quick. I had a ginger ale and I was kind of burpy, and just at the time, there was an hour and a half before my show, but I want you to avoid eating anything spicy or anything that's super carbonated, because when you play your song in your set list, there are songs that you could be playing, and those things that you're digesting and stuff, it affects your voice. It affects the clamminess of your voice, of your mouth. You might get some stickiness in there. It might affect the way that you feel while you're playing the song, to which case your face has this weird look when you're singing and you're trying to sing and you actually burp over it. I've done that, and I've recently done that, and I want you to avoid that mistake. So avoid the spicy foods or anything that's super carbonated. Have something that is, relatively simple, maybe a piece of fruit and water. Going with water. Nothing carbonated, not even coffee sometimes gives me a little bit of acid reflux. So I typically go with water and something light if I'm going to have food between shows. That leads me into my next tip for you. A mistake to avoid is don't bring a beverage with you on stage. The way that I do it is I'll do an hour set and I won't need some water. Maybe some of you do need water. And if you must bring a beverage, make sure that it has a cap or a cover. Don't bring, sometimes a director will ask me if I need any water. And in the past, I've said, yes, thank you, I would love some water. And she sets it either really far away from me over here, or on the floor right here, or somewhere, and it doesn't have a cover typically. And oftentimes I spill it, or I'm moving around, or the cord knocks it over, or I'll draw attention to me reaching all the way behind me to grab the water and just take a sip of the water, and all the way back behind me to put the water down. That's another thing for your audience to focus on that is not necessarily. If you do bring a beverage to a drink, make sure that it has a cover, and make sure that it's easily accessible. Maybe you have a microphone stand that has one of those little water holders or cup holders that you have it right in front of you. Just take a little swig, put it right back, make sure that it has the cover. I've knocked stuff down before, and it just doesn't, it's not too professional if you spill it. And then the director's wondering, oh my God, I gotta clean this up, or you go get a towel, or the residents that are in your show end up looking at you and you make this spectacle over something that was really, really small to begin with. Anyway, cover up your water. Number 7, do not rush the setup or the breakdown. Sometimes we're running short on time, but I have found that as soon as I start rushing the setup, I forget something, whether it's my capo or my tuner or my thumb pick, something I will forget. Give yourself enough time. I am giving myself at least a half an hour before I arrive, before showtime. I'm at the show, I'm setting up, I'm going through everything, and I'm not rushing. Also, at the very end of the show, don't rush when you're breaking down. I tend to, do my finale with God Bless America, and I get up and I, start strumming a little bit, and I take a little bit of a bow, and then the show is over, and I set my instrument down at the stand that's right next to me, and then I kind of observe the room. Is everybody getting up and moving right away? Are they all still sitting there waiting for me to do more? Don't rush and start to gather everything together and start unplugging everything, putting everything in your case and ignoring them now. Because this is still part of your show. This is still part of your interaction with them, your visit with them. Maybe residents want to approach you. So I would grab my mic stand and put it to the side. My instrument is back to the side. So now it's just me kind of sitting right here, taking my time, looking at them, telling them thank you, and telling them about, what I get to do next, or when I get to see them again, or what else I'm doing that day, and trying to inquire what their rest of the day looks like, and visiting with them a little bit, but not hurrying up and getting out of there. It just helps build rapport. It helps you build that relationship with them, and it shows them that you value their time and you're not really, really anxious to get out of there. Even if you have a show that's coming up next, just do your best to take your time and soak in the moment. And these residents, this show, it may be just another gig for you, but for them it's the highlight of their day or the highlight of their week. And this is a very special moment. Give them that hour show, but also give them a little bit of time after. It will go a long way as you build rapport with them, and as you build your show list, and as you build your set list, and as you build your book of business. It goes a long way. So make sure you don't rush. Number 8, and I mentioned this in a different video before, not everybody is going to love your show. Don't try cheering everybody up. Some people don't want to be cheered up. You may find yourself wanting to make that lady smile during the whole show, or make that dude laugh or smile during the whole show. Not everybody is going to smile and laugh. And sometimes quiet residents, they're getting the most from your show. So don't worry if not everybody is smiling or singing or just there with their arms crossed. Not everybody wants to be lifted up. Some of them just want to remember or just be present in the movie, in the music, and just be part of this activity. So go in there with an open mind and understand that I'm going to do my best, and we're going to see what happens. We're going to let the audience do what they're going to do. And if you do find some ladies smiling or some gentlemen clapping or smiling or doing whatever, put your energy into those people that are happy, and don't worry about those people that may at first and on don't invest in those people that may look like from face value that they're not enjoying their show, because a lot of times they're getting a whole lot from it that you can't really tell. So don't try cheering everybody up. Just go out there, do your best, have fun, and be happy. Tip number 9, don't ignore anybody who asks a question or talks to you, even if it's in the very middle of your show. Like I'm telling a story or I'm playing a song, and there's a lady in the front that asked me if I knew anything from John Denver. And I know one song, which is Rocky Mountain High. I do Country Roads too, but I've been focusing more on Rocky Mountain High because that's a song that the residents don't typically hear too much because the vocal range and things, and I try to bring it to them. Sometimes the resident is going to ask you a question or speak to you or give you some kind of feedback during the show, and don't ever ignore that. Like maybe they're saying to you it's too loud. You can make an adjustment. Maybe they're trying to tell you that this song that you just played reminds them of their son, or their daughter, or maybe they're trying to tell you a story, and acknowledge that. That could be a perfect moment to connect with them, and you can build that rapport with a single resident, and the people around her understand that, okay, she's curious and she wants to connect with the musician, and they will see that as a professional thing for you to stop what you're doing and to acknowledge her and to shine love and light on her, even when she's asking a question in the middle of the song or in the middle of whatever story you're telling. We want to be happy and honest and respectful and open to them because we're a guest here. So never, I don't think that you would do that anyway. It'd be kind of, especially when you're playing in a senior community. Maybe if you're playing in a restaurant setting or a bar, you're just like, hey man, I'm actually playing this song right now. I'm not going to look at you or whatever. When you're at a senior community, it's a different thing. So take that moment, pause, say, oh, I really like that this song is resonating with you, and I have a couple others that are like this song that you like so much, and I'm looking forward to playing those for you too. So is volume okay for you? Everything's good? Let's go. Let's rock on. Here we go. And get them back in the show and guide them back in, however way you choose to do that. Number 10, appreciate everyone who is there. And don't draw attention to how many empty seats there are. I did a show recently, there was one guy sitting over here, there was two ladies sitting over here, and there was one dude sitting in the way back. I had like 5 of them in a room that was set up for 35. What do? We shine love and light and gratitude. I'm excited to be here with everybody, and I've got a lot of my favorite songs, and I'm hoping to stumble upon a few of your favorites too. And go into your set. Some people wait to hear the music before they come into the show and fill up those seats. Sometimes they don't fill in at all. But give them the love that you would give to the whole crowd. Appreciate the people that are sitting there with you. Sometimes they may whisper to each other, oh, I can't believe, so-and-so isn't here, or, oh, there should be more people at this show. We should have told everybody that he was coming. Sometimes nobody knows you're coming. So that's why we follow up with the director the day of and the week before the show and let everybody know that we're coming. But invest your energy and your love to the people that are present at your show. There may be empty seats. The front row may have nobody sitting in it. Do the best that you can, and the show must go on. Number 11, I learned this recently. Don't ask them for requests. They may give you requests at their own accord. They may say, play this song or play that song, or can you do this and this? But don't stop and say, okay, what do you guys want to hear now? If you're getting a read on the crowd, because that opens up the whole room. Like, oh, we can give them requests. Play this, play this. You might know it, you might not know it, but then you give them the control. Now they're controlling your show. And maybe a gentleman may request a song that you kind of sort of know, and you're sitting there trying to figure out the chords. It's like, okay, is this how it goes? Is this how it goes? And then you're trying to learn the song in front of your audience. And I did that before, and it's not too professional. It's kind of cringy because you may get the song and he may or may not like the version that you remember anyway, but you have your set lists. You have the song lists that you've rehearsed. Someone may shout out a song that they want to hear, and what I do if that happens and I don't know the song, I would say something like, I don't know that song, but I do know the artist you're talking about. And if you like that artist, here is a song that I'm going to play that I know from that audience. Thanks for that. And then move on with your set list. Or I don't know that song, but I know a song that sounds kind of like that, or I know a song that has a similar vibe. So don't ask them for requests, because that gives up the control that you have of the room. You know the songs that you play, you know the songs that you've rehearsed, and just go with those. And then that gives you feedback for the set list that you choose to arrange for your next visit to this community. Finally, I want to share with you this tip is change up your show. When you visit this community again, have 4 or 5 or 6 different songs that you include. Or if you can't learn songs that quick in the proximity of when you're playing for the show, if it's once every month, change the order of the songs. Change the key of the songs. Add something different, add something variety, add more energy, add more sentimental songs here or there. Maybe include a harmonica. That's how I started playing the harmonica. I'm just like, oh man, I need to switch up this show a little bit. I'm going to play a little bit more harmonica. The directors will notice if you're playing the same exact, even if the residents don't particularly notice it, the director notices it, the staff notices it, and you want your show to have, energy and life, and you want to stray away from boredom as much as possible. And you also want to keep yourself excited. You play these songs all the time, but the residents, it may be the first time that they're hearing you play it. So switch it up a little bit. Try to always include a new song or two when you're rehearsing. If you are finding some value watching my videos and staying on my channel, if you're finding some value in this video, you can support my channel by becoming a Patreon, or you can also buy me a coffee, and you could also check out the list of Amazon gear that I have listed in the description of this video. I would really appreciate the support, and I love sharing all of these different ideas with you. I hope that your journey as you become a senior community performer is fulfilling, and I hope that you enjoy the whole experience, because there's so much to learn, and there's so many different ways that we can grow. And this audience is so deserving of the music that you have in your hearts to share. So I hope that you are always going out there and sharing that music that you love. Keep making all the residents happy and smile, and keep shining your love and light, and I'll see you in the next video.